All right, so this particular question was kind of ambiguous. The question was, how did I cope with it? So my assumption is they mean, how did I, in general, how did I cope with the military life? But I'm going to give it a spin and talk about how I coped with military life while having mental illness, well, undiagnosed mental illness. So a way that a lot of people described me while I was in the military was enthusiastically depressed. I'd be completely miserable, but would just act like I was in a really good mood. Important note here, that is actually a sign that you're repressing emotions. So I just made kind of bullet points about this topic, so this might be kind of a scrambled video, but as always, that's how my videos always are. When I was underway, because, prior to, my underways, or I guess deployments in general, I was really just dealing with regular stressors. Once I started going underway, that's when shit got real. And when I was underway, I'd spend a lot of my free time working out and studying. And I would motivate myself, reminding myself that, once the underways were done and, once work was done when I was in port, that I could go out drinking. And this was okay for a little while, but it became a major crutch over time. I mean, honestly, in most ways, I was kind of your stereotypical sailor. But you see, the difference is a lot of people, when they come to Japan, especially because they're far away from home, they're dealing with the stress of, I guess you call it separation anxiety, and, the general stress of, being in the military. But for me, I already had issues when I came in, so they were... In fact, the stress of the Navy was barely affecting me, because these issues would have been there even if I had not joined the military. In fact, for me, for a lot of people, getting out of the military takes away the stress. For me, part of me was actually afraid to get out of the military. That's actually why I re-enlisted for the most part, because I had no idea what I wanted to do with myself. The frustrating thing for me is, before I came in, and especially when I was in the Navy, when I was in the Navy, was I couldn't figure out what the fuck was bothering me. That was like the hardest part. Like, it was just like a general feeling of just not being fucking happy, not being, just a general feeling of discontent. I always wanted to think it was because of the Navy and the stress from the Navy, but I knew it wasn't. Eventually, once I got used to, the schedule and, the stress and the workload, it all became a lot less stressful, but the feeling of discontent just never went away. And I came to refer to it as a demon in my view, to quote Edgar Allan Poe. I tried to fill it with relationships, this void, but in a big way, relationships really didn't do anything for me. And as you can see from some of my older videos, in many ways, they actually made it a lot worse. So I stuck to drinking and getting further immersed in the nightlife. And, this along with the ancillary addictions that come along with it, all got very expensive and, something had to give. So eventually I actually self-referred to the Navy's version and went to the Navy's version of rehab, which is really made things more complicated because, once you're labeled as somebody with a drinking problem in the military, it just kind of follows you like a dark shadow, and there's no way to get away from it. And the program itself sucks. All they do is focus on your drinking. Because the only reason I actually self-referred, because I wanted to figure out what my actual problems were, because I knew that drinking was only a symptom. And honestly, I only found some type of solace whenever I went to shore duty and finally had some time to, clear my thoughts and actually focus on what I really wanted to do, or at least think about what I might actually want to do. Because up until then, it was always expectations, fucking expectations, evaluations, standards, So that was the point where I got back to my old passion of music, and I made my first, I believe, 4 albums in 6 months. And, then that's when I started making YouTube videos in order to promote my albums. And essentially what I did is I put all of my energy, or redirected all of my energy that had gone towards, relationships and, seeking approval from others, and put it all into my creative endeavors. And that's when things I'm still a work in progress, but that's when things at least started to get better. So I guess the final answer is going to have to kind of be divided into 2 different halves. Because the first part is, if you're having trouble coping with the military life, go talk to medical. Talk to somebody. Talk to a chaplain. The thing is, it is true that in the military, people are going to try to call you a wimp, especially if you're not able to, to stay with your unit or your ship or whatever. But, the thing is, you got to understand is a lot of people in the military are assholes and aren't very understanding. So fuck them. And this is your one opportunity while you're in to actually, completely just think about yourself and just focus on yourself. So go for it. They're not fucking medical professionals. They don't understand mental health. I don't want to say it's on you, but it's your choice and your opportunity. And more importantly, because for me, a big issue is I didn't really have a sense of identity. So find something that makes your life feels like your life has to make you feel like your life has value, and that will help a lot. That's what's helped me a lot. You know, because now I make music and I make YouTube videos. It's not a perfect identity, but it's still an identity nonetheless. Now, the second part is more general. This is towards anybody that's in the military. You should spend, or at least for me, because I was in the Navy, I can speak on the Navy. You should spend about 70% of your free time while you're, deployed or underway, working out and studying, because those are free radical activities that are they're gonna both make time go by faster, and they're gonna help you with your own success. And especially with me, those two activities, exercising really helped with my moodiness and my anxiety, and studying, helped me, advance in my job. It helped me keep my mind occupied, which helped me not think about the shit that was bothering me. That's all there is to it. So that's pretty much it for this video. So as always, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like my music, buy it. If you hate me, tell everybody. Out.